The best of the morning to you. This is Monday with Friday, preparing you for a better week ahead. It doesn't require International Women's Day or Women's History Month for me to remember my mother. She has been gone for almost 20 years now, but I still remember her daily since she was the first woman I ever knew and loved. For all the hardships she suffered in deep poverty as wife and mother, she was a champion. The girl who married me nearly 39 years ago is also a champion. Ukrainian women, who are now refugees and some to become widows, now left to tend, mind, grow, educate, socialize, and equip their children, while their husbands remain behind to defend their homeland, are undoubtedly champions. When I was growing up, Indira Gandhi was India's Prime Minister, and Golda Meir, who incidentally was born in Kyiv, Ukraine, was Prime Minister of Israel. Aside from the fact that the Vietnam War and the American society were tumultuously steaming away, things were also restive in India and Israel. Both Gandhi and Meir were the first women in their respective nations to become prime minister, and Gandhi in particular was installed by men who thought that she would be the puppet they wanted her to be. They were very wrong. Gandhi paid attention to the poor and was genuinely charming, intelligent, and skillful, notwithstanding undermining and opposition from American President Nixon, whose government empowered Pakistan, perhaps because India had signed a peace treaty with Russia. Pakistan would later bomb Indian military bases, but eventually surrendered to India. On that basis alone, Gandhi could have become a champion, but for electoral malpractice accusations which dogged her path, and a scandal which involved sterilizing millions of Indian males without their consent or with measly bribes. Golda Meir's record is briefer and less colorful, even though she lived in the American Midwest from age 8 to 23, but still, it is no mean achievement to be among the world's first 4 female prime ministers or presidents anywhere. It is remarkable that the first was from the global south, Shirimavo Bandaranaike of Sri Lanka, followed by Gandhi, also from the global south. Golda Meir was the third and Margaret Thatcher fourth. America is yet to experience that grace. In more recent times, Angela Merkel stands out as the steadiest and perhaps most consequential of female national leaders. The world noticed Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern for her heroically responsible management of the COVID-19 pandemic in New Zealand, thereby exposing the incompetence of supposed strongmen like the clown who then presided over America and the one who still presides over Brazil. In the Caribbean, Barbadian Prime Minister Mia Mottley stands out head and shoulders above not only the other Caribbean women who emerged as national leaders, but she has also sealed her place arguably among the crowd of towering men who, not without their faults, emancipated Caribbean lands out of British colonialism or some version of emancipation. Along with Margaret Thatcher of the United Kingdom, 3 former Caribbean leaders come to mind: Kamala Persad-Bissessar of Trinidad and Tobago, Portia Simpson Miller of Jamaica, and Eugenia Charles of Dominica. All of these trailblazing women sustained much controversy from within and without their parties and countries, one for reasons of corruption, one for incompetency, another for her undying friendship with the then American president who, like herself at home, unleashed brutally regressive socio-economic policies, and yet another, despite having a stellar record at home, for abusing her chairmanship of a regional organization to invite a foreign superpower to invade a tiny member state. These scars deny these women the plaudits afforded Merkel, Ardern, Mottley, and Ellen Sirleaf Johnson, Liberia's first and only female president. Time does not permit expanding on Benazir Bhutto, who gallantly went home from America to a corrupt Pakistani regime to change it from within and met her death. Time disallows me to honor Jean Miles, Gene, in case you're going to Google her. That courageous corruption whistleblower in Trinidad and Tobago in the 1960s, who, though a heroine, was made by wicked and greedy men a pariah and a pauper. Nanny of the Maroons, a Jamaican national hero and a liberator of the enslaved who, very much like Harriet Tubman of the Underground Railroad on the American continent, deserves her own episode. Winifred Atwell needs her story to be told to the world. She was an incredibly and delightfully talented black Trinidadian pianist who rose to prominence in white England and white Australia in the 1950s, at which time she should have been considered a nobody, for she was so good, you see. Liberace had nothing on her. May God bless women and girls. May people, in receiving and recognizing that blessing, remove men who do not serve the world well and replace them with women or men who would. If Volodymyr Zelensky, a former comic, can emerge as a wartime president and hero, then surely any member of the Pussy Riot could become the next Russian president. She would be more credible, honest, and law-abiding than the butcher who now holds that office. I am Michael Friday, and your week just got better. I'll see you again next week. Happy Monday, all the way to Friday.